Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome. I see people are noticing some misplaced cities on the map, which is funny. Oh no, where'd the chat go? I think I turned off the, there we go. Yeah, it just, if you only say the city name, it throws it to Google's geocoder, and then it does the best that it can, which is with only a city name. It could be ambiguous, like Coachella in Oregon, not California. Yeah. If you put a state or a country name, it should do better. So that's a little tip. Normally, Google does better at that because if you are like looking at a map and you search for something, you're probably looking for something nearby, so it can kind of use that as a clue. But yeah, it turns out turning just text into location names is hard. I have a lot of experience with that sort of thing from a long time ago. Meteorex says hello from Las Vegas, watching today's stream from my new MacBook Pro M2 Max. Wow, that's a monster of a machine. Congrats. I hope it's working out. I've been really enjoying the M2 Air, which is definitely an upgrade from the M1 Air that I have, but mostly just because of the RAM and the storage. And I've been doing all my editing on that lately, so it's great. Have there been changes to the map? Yep. The zoom in effect is pretty fun. I have to figure out how to make it work so that I can have people show up on the map after the intro, because people start trickling in. Like Dan Splaining from Colorado and Art Audio from First Capital Kingston, Ontario. And now the map is not on the screen. I don't have an easy way to bring it back. So, oh well. I'll figure that out later. Oh, and Photo 360 from Serbia. Welcome. Okay, so what's the plan for today? If you have any questions, as always, drop them in the chat. Start them with the letter Q, and it'll make it easier for me to spot them on my screen here. Otherwise, we're going to just start talking about live streaming, ATEM Minis, YoloBoxes, and whatever else comes up. And I do want to mention, of course, that the photo contest, PK1 Stand Photo Contest, is still going on, and I will be able to show you what the grand prize is today. First, quick refresher. This is, let me drop this link in the chat first. This is how to enter the photo contest. The link here contains the instructions. The short version is take photos of your rigs, your PK1 stands and YoloBox cages, all those things. Take photos, make them look awesome, and send a link through this platform. And in 18 days, which I believe is 2 live streams from now, shouldn't that be 14? Well, I did the math at some point and it made sense. So whatever that says is probably correct. We will draw the winners. Oh, I think it's a few days before the live stream, so I have a chance to prepare the assets to show the winner. That's what it is. So it's like the Friday before the live stream. Anyway, enter your photos there. We'll pick a winner, and the winner, there'll be 1 grand prize winner and 2 second place winners, and runner-up prizes for discounts for the stores. So that's the contest. Oh, and we also have good. We have special news. Before I reveal, no, I have to reveal the grand prize first. So I have to go actually over to the table. Let's see if I made the button work right. I think that worked. Yes, and hopefully the sound is on the correct microphone. Now back over to this setup, being able to switch between the 2 sets. I don't have the chat right here at the moment, so I'm going to have to give you this rundown first and then go back to see the chat. But got a sneak peek a second ago. The new product that is available and which is a grand prize is a cover for the PK1 stands. It's an acrylic cover, and it just sits on top, and there is one for the Mini as well as for the Extreme. And of course, as you may notice, yes, they are custom printed. So the photo contest winner will get a custom printed one with your logo on it. Look at that. And a custom printed one with your logo on it. And the 2 second place winners will get a regular cover without the custom printing. And that is the prize for the photo contest. It's very cool. They're very, very pretty. And now, because the new design for these stands have these clips, so like the ATEM is like stuck in there and it won't go anywhere. But that means that the deck saver doesn't fit on it anymore. So we basically had to make our own deck saver. So that's the deal there. And just sits on top, and the printing is very nice. Very, very pretty. So we can do all sorts of colors with that. And yeah, that is the deal. Looks fancy. Those covers look amazing. Good, good, good. I'm so glad. So glad you like them. Yes, the Lily has one with the Oh My Dollar logo on it, and it is so cool. I don't have a picture of that one here. Oh yeah, I was doing video B-roll and I forgot to take actual still photos to share. So I'll dig those up at some point. Looking good, looking good. So yes, don't forget to enter the photo contest, because that is how you can get one. If you don't want to enter the photo contest and you just want to buy one, I will drop the links to the shops in the chat now as well. There are the 2 stores, depending on which will be cheaper to ship to you. So take a look if you are, depending on your location, take a look at the stores and see which one is going to be the cheapest shipping. So yeah, they are available for both the small ATEM Mini and the bigger ATEM Mini Extreme. Super fun. I'm super excited about it. Great way to really customize your setup there. Graham, how will you be able to accidentally push the fade to black button now? Exactly. Exactly. That button. Nobody cares. Nobody wants that button. You have to make a version with a hole over the fade to black button. Yeah. So very cool. Super excited about that. That is what I was trying to show you for the photo contest a couple weeks ago when we launched it, but now you know what the prize actually is. Very cool. Will the cover work without a stand? Not really, no. I'll show you why. The do I have one? Yes, I do. It doesn't really work without the stand because it's made to fit. It's made to like sit on the little ledge here. So that's what's holding it down, is the little lip that the clips make. So without that, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, no, it's not super stable because it doesn't have anything to rest on. So it is meant to go on the stands. Just like that. You know what I should really do is just grab an iPad so I have a chat over there. Oh, we have an update. Covers for standalone ATEMs are coming soon. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, there we go. There we have it. Supersept, have you got a cage for the YoloBox Livestream vertical? Yeah, we do. That is it's, okay, actually it's not a cage. I take it back. Here, I'll drop the link in the chat and show you in a second. It is this. So it is 2 parts. One part is, I think I have a picture of it. Yeah. One part is this bracket that goes into both sides of the tripod screws on each side of the in-stream, which means that you can attach it to a pole like this from the center instead of it like dangling off to the side, which is, it doesn't, they should have put the tripod screws on the top and bottom, but So this is like, you kind of need this bracket in order to attach it to a pole. But then if you want to put it on a desk, you slip that into the stand. So that just slides on top, and then it tilts it at that right angle. So it's not like a full cage like the for the YoloBox Pro, but it does mean you can mount it to a tripod or any sort of vertical rod at that point. It looks like the cover won't fit if you have the iPad holder on top. I think that is true with the Extreme, but I believe it fits with the Mini, just because that top bar is a little bit closer on the Extreme. I'm pretty sure that is... Oh, they're saying it does fit. Because I couldn't get it to fit on the Extreme when I tried, because I had my iPad clips on there yesterday. Vance says, can you use an audio mixer for the wireless mics and then connect the output to the input of the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO? Yeah, absolutely. The trick is, and you'll want to make sure you do this in your settings. Let me go grab the right ATEM. This is the ATEM Mini ISO 4 input, but it's the same on both minis. You have to go into the audio settings. And in here, in general, make sure you choose line if you're connecting it to a mixer, not a microphone. If you're plugging like a mic receiver in directly, that'll usually output mic levels, so you would choose microphone here. But if you're plugging into a mixer, the mixer probably has a line output, not a mic level output. Most mixers work that way. But if you're plugging into a regular mixer out, it'll be line out. Make sure you choose that here. Otherwise, you're going to get either really quiet or really distorted audio, and it'll be very obvious that something is wrong. So that is the one trick, but yes, otherwise, absolutely. Okay, they do fit all possible combinations. You may have to insert at an angle, but they do fit. I see. Maybe I can go and figure out where I put the iPad clips and try. Oh, there they are. Let's go try that. I need an iPad. Good thing I have one up here, which is the chat. Okay, the iPad, I don't think I have the screws for them, so we'll have to just simulate it. Oh, the screws are in there. Do I have a hex wrench? So this, you can see there's clearly enough room for that underneath on the Mini. I don't have a hex key, so I can't actually tighten them down, but that's fine. So clearly enough room there for the iPad. There's a good ½ inch. On the Extreme, it is, let's see. Oh yeah. No, that does not fit. That definitely does not fit. So I don't know what's, it's definitely hitting that. Could do it backwards. Not that that's helpful at all. I don't know what, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, because yeah, it's like basically hitting the ATEM. Do I have the wrong iPad clip? Has that been redesigned? Maybe that's what's going on. Because yeah, that definitely does not fit, but it does work on the Mini. Now I have the chat over here. Oh, good. People are also helping out with the mixer question. Yeah, Bailey says make sure you change the type to the line input. Graham says, yes, I use the cable from the mixer aux out. I might have the wrong parts. I might have an older version of the iPad mount then, because I think this was actually one of the ones that I printed on my printer when we were prototyping. So I need a new version. Send that over. Then I will be able to get the photos right. Supercept, I follow your videos from France. You're the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jamie says, I have an ATEM Constellation 8K with the Blackmagic 4K cameras. I love to be able to ISO record. Would it be possible with an ATEM Constellation 8K and ATEM Mini Extreme ISO? Gosh. So there's none of the ATEM Minis that have the ISO recorder do 4K. So if you want 4K recording, that's not going to happen. If you're running the ATEM Constellation in 1080 mode, obviously totally fine. You run a bunch of the outputs into your ATEM Mini Extreme. I would recommend getting the SDI version of the ATEM Mini Extreme because then you don't have to do converters for everything. So that's what I'm using over here now. I have the ATEM SDI Pro ISO, the 4-input one, on top of the rack, and it has 4 SDI inputs that are coming out of the ATEM 4ME, which is like the not 4K version of the Constellation 8K. And that is just 4 cables, very simple, no converters involved. Much simpler. Otherwise, you have to do the 4 SDI to HDMI converters, which is just annoying. But it's only going to record 1080, which means it won't scale a 4K signal either. So if you're running your stream in 4K and you want to actually record a 1080 version, you're going to have to do something else for scaling. So I don't have the 8K, I don't have the Constellation 8K, but I'm pretty sure it does not have the option of scaling outputs to a different resolution, because my 4ME definitely does not either. But I don't have the 8K to double check that. So that's the only way it would work though. After seeing your, oops. Oh, there we go. Yes, Xteen. Thank you. I use the HyperDeck for recording in 4K. HyperDeck Studio Pro does 1080 out, but does 4K in and records in 4K. Yeah, great tip. So if you get 4 of those or however many you need, then yeah, that's the only real way to get like ISO recording out of the Constellation. But that is honestly why I like this, or out of the Constellation 8K. But that's why I like this setup of the 1080, everything 1080. I don't really care about 4K right now, and I do get ISO recording in the ATEM Mini, which is just simpler to deal with and quite a lot cheaper than buying 4 HyperDecks as well. After seeing your video about the small rig, I bought it, but it does not fit on my ATEM stand. The small rig, you talking about the little small rig monitor adapter? I don't think I have one of those here, but it's up, it's mounted. If you need help, write into to Inix3D, because they'll be able to send you pictures and stuff of how to do it. There are these little nuts that you have to put in the aluminum bar that slide in here, and these are what holds the. This is what the screw for the small rig thing plugs into, but the screw that comes with the small rig adapter is not the right size. It's too big for it. So you should have received some screws that are the correct size for doing this. And that should have been part of the kit when you got it. And these screws are smaller than the ones that come in the small rig monitor adapter, and these do fit into the nut that goes in there. The other screws are just too wide for this channel. So hopefully that gets you on the right path. Look for the screws that look like this. They should be this type. I believe these are the real ones that we're shipping. These are not my random Amazon screws. Question about SuperSource. How do you customize the edges of SuperSource boxes and make them the white color? We can try that really quick. The in the ATEM, let's see if I can actually do that. So here is my SuperSource layout showing you the screen that is the SuperSource, and this is SuperSource 1. Oh, right. The I knew there was something that wasn't going to work about this. The Constellation, for some reason, does not have SuperSource borders, but the Extreme, ATEM Mini Extreme does. I don't want to mess this up too much, because this is lilies, but where's the SuperSource border? Oh wait, no, it's not on the Extreme. It's not on the ATEM Mini Extreme either. Which one has it? Oh, where is it? Okay, wait. Bailey said there's a panel for the SuperSource that will allow you to customize the borders. Yeah, no, I think it's only in. Now I forget the models that have it, but it's not the Extreme and it's not the Constellation 8K. Art. What is? Yeah, there's borders here, but it's disabled, which I remember that being a thing. And I believe it's the same on the Constellation. So what you have to do instead, what you have to do instead is do it in Photoshop. So this art for this SuperSource is in the background, right? So it's my stripe color thing in the background. And if I wanted borders around this, I would have to put it on top. So there's two ways to do it. Either I can do it by a downstream key, and a downstream key would just like slap a border on top of this whole thing. Or I could change my art to have holes cut out for these two sources. Neither of those are as flexible as border. Okay, now there's a whole debate happening in the chat. Just tried SuperSource art, but it wasn't available. Bailey says it was in the Extreme because you did a live demo of it when you had the Extreme. Am I not thinking of the upstream key having borders? Yeah, the upstream key definitely does. I remember that one, which is in, let's see, am I using any of these right now? No. So here's the Apple TV, upstream key 1. Let's put it over here. So it's over there, and this does have a border. And you can change either the inner width or outer width. So you could do the border on the inside or the outside of the picture, depending on if you want to cover it up. But that's on the upstream key, not on the SuperSource, which I don't know why. Yeah, and it doesn't come back. Oh well. Graham says I've got an Extreme ISO and the art tab has a border section, but it is grayed out. Yeah. Oh well. Let's take a look at the chat because there's all sorts of stuff coming in. Okay, let me go back to the small rig didn't come with the adapter. Any idea where? No, so sorry. The stand that you got should have come with extra screws that work with the small rig monitor mount. That's what I meant to say. If not, then right back to NX3D because they should be able to send you the right screws. Any other SuperSource notes before we move on from that? I'm certain it had it. Whether they removed it, I don't know, but I bet money it was there at one point or another. Well, we can see if I have any timestamps from other live streams about it. Let's see. SuperSource. Where have I talked about SuperSource that are older? Building a SuperSource with the ATEM Mini Extreme. SuperSource and upstream key demo. Creating a SuperSource border overlay. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. I have a feeling this is going to be, oh, my hair was a lot longer. I have a feeling this is going to be not, yeah, so there's no border setting here. I have a feeling I'm going to go into Photoshop in a second and make an overlay for it. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, screenshot, select that area that you want to have the border. Give it a border, put that back into your media pool, and or make it your SuperSource foreground art. This is what I was about to go do now again. Let's see, there it is. So now it's on the foreground. So it's foreground art and there's a whole cutout of the middle of it. That's how I got the border here. Maybe that's what you were thinking of, Bailey. I don't know. Maybe SuperSource Borders will appear when the sting button is activated. Yes. That sting button. Okay, let me drop this link into the chat so that you have a way to find it again later. Just link the timestamp URL for the video. There we go. Now it's in the chat, so you can go and watch it slower if you are curious about how to do it. But it's basically a, you have to create custom art that contains the border to slap on top. Okay. Let's see, there were a couple other good questions here. What is the cheapest 4K camera to start out streaming? Will be indoors and at times outdoors. Wanted to go with DJI mic and YoloBox Mini. Not sure if I will need an ATEM Mini. I would say if you're just starting out, don't even bother with 4K, frankly, especially for streaming, because that has a lot of extra complications, including bandwidth. And if you're going outside, then you're gonna need even better Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. I would not even bother with 4K, honestly. Photo Joseph has a really good 4K setup, but we'll see how, if that continues much longer with his whole move, cross-continent move. So it takes a lot of equipment to get a 4K stream working, and you have to have a really big internet upload pipe. So there's just very specific cases where you would need it, and not very many, frankly. So I would stick with 1080 for now. Everything's just gonna be a lot easier, a lot more. There's a lot more options for you if you're doing that, and it'll be a lot cheaper. So do that for a while, and if you find yourself limited by the 1080, then upgrade. The YoloBox Mini is a single camera, single HDMI device. You can plug in a USB camera, which is not going to be anywhere near the quality of a HDMI camera. None of them come anywhere close. Maybe the Insta360 Link is the closest, but it's not even in the same tier still. So the YoloBox Mini is a great option, especially for like portable, on the go. You need to take it outside. It's battery powered, all that kind of stuff. That's great. If you want to do more than one HDMI camera and a USB camera, then you'll need something else. And you can do ATEM Mini with a YoloBox Mini, which is actually a great combo. I did do a video about that a while ago. Let me link that in the chat, because that is actually a great combo for live streaming, just because you get the simplicity and the stability of the ATEM Mini for all the different camera switches, and then it feeds one output into the YoloBox Mini, which is a very small setup for that. So I should have put text on that link. Sorry, now it's out of context. That is this video, which is, let's see, do I have a little picture of the setup? Where's my little setup picture of the rigs? There it is. So you get the, oh yeah, you have two ways to do it too. If you want to see the multi-view, you can actually do USB camera out of the webcam out of the ATEM into the YoloBox Mini, which works. And that way you still get your multi-view, which is good. Or if you want the base ATEM Mini, which does not have multi-view, then it's just a simple 4-camera switcher. It's a great combo though. So this is what it ends up looking like. Cool, okay. Oh, Keith says, I'm trying out 2 ATEM Mini Extreme ISOs in my studio with 2 HDMI outs going into the main Extreme ISO. This should be fun. Second Extreme ISO arrived on Friday. It is fun. Can confirm. Lots of inputs, lots of options for that. That's great. That is starting to get into not cheap anymore, just because 2 ATEM Mini Extremes is a chunk of change, but you can do all sorts of fun stuff with that for sure. For a long time, I actually ran my live streams on 2 ATEM Minis before the Extreme came out, where I chained them back to back. So it was 4 inputs on one, feeding out into the other one, which then had 3 more inputs. So it was a total of 7 inputs, which worked quite well. And then the Extreme came out and made that totally obsolete. So Carl says, any experience powering the ATEM with battery power for truly remote production? I don't have a lot of like actual experience doing it other than testing here, but I have done tests of different batteries plugged into the 12 volt. Generally, you just need to make sure that your power supply can provide the same amount of watts that the power brick with the ATEM Mini requires. And it is definitely make sure that you check for each ATEM Mini, because the different ATEM Mini models have different power bricks. So like the original ATEM Mini is the smallest because it does the least amount of stuff. And then the Extreme has a much, much bigger power brick. So that's just the main thing you want to look for, is to make sure the battery can supply that same number of watts in 12 volts. And I believe the ATEM Minis actually accept a range of voltages too. There's on the back, there's a little, markings on the back, which are, tell you the range that it accepts. Yeah, 9 to 20 volts, 18 watts for this one. The Extreme requires more watts. But I've always done it with 12 volts because that's what the power brick that comes with the ATEM Mini is. But it should work with, theoretically, it should work with 9 volts too, in case you have a 9 volt battery for some reason. Oh, what's this about? You can use a Blackmagic Deck Link 8K and record with vMix. Oh, this is about the ISO recording of the 4K from the Constellation 8K. That's a good tip too. Yeah, if you want to use your computer to do the ISO recording, you can use the Deck Link cards to get multiple video channels into the computer. I'm now officially behind in the chat, so if I'm not answering right away, it's just because I'm behind. I'm going to try to keep things on grouped by topic. You can get a little transformer from USB to the 12 volt. That's going to have some limits. I don't know if the Extreme can do it, because it'll depend on how many watts that transformer can pull out of the USB battery and up the voltage. So double check all the math on that. That makes me nervous trying to do like an Extreme. Probably do the ATEM Mini no problem off of a USB battery. I'd be a little bit less certain about the Extreme. The idea is not obsolete to pair up ATEMs. We just went from 7 to 15 instead. True, it's true. Although at some point, now with the Constellations out there, assuming you don't need HDMI, the Constellation 2 ME has quite a few inputs in it. Let's look at the back of it. Constellation 2 ME gets 20 inputs and 12 outputs, which is fun. Those are all assignable. And then the one I'm using is the huge one with 40 inputs and 24 outputs, which is like 2 of the 2 MEs stacked together. I'm gonna get to all the chats. Don't worry. I'm just gonna try to play catch up here. For the ATEM Mini Extreme, what's better? Companion, or what is a better companion? That's funny because companion is also a thing that I talk about a lot. vMix or Everything Mac, Pro Presenter, Mimo Live, OBS. The problem is a lot of video engineers know vMix and don't know their software. I mean, I guess what I would say is, in any case, if you're using any of these software switchers like vMix or OBS or Mimo Live, then the benefit of the ATEM Mini is greatly reduced because it essentially turns it into just external switcher for feeding the computer software. So the cheapest ATEM Mini is a great option for that because it gives your computer one video feed and you get to do all the switching externally. But once you get into like the Extreme or the Extreme ISO, you are not taking advantage of most of the features in that device, like recording and streaming, if you're doing your stream in the computer. So I don't know if there's a best option because it's really going to depend on what people are used to. Like if you're doing something, if you're installing something somewhere where you're not going to be around much, whatever's going to be easiest for them is definitely the best option. Keith says you can do this view using SuperSource background and 2 DVEs. Use a SuperSource background, no boxes, and 2 DVEs with a border on top. Yeah, that would work. Okay, would you do a demo using SuperSource background, 2 DVE layout with a border, then bring 2 non-border SuperSource boxes on the screen? Okay, let's try it. SuperSource background, 2 DVEs with a border, and then 2 non-border SuperSource. Okay, I got it. So we're going to do... So you're looking at the SuperSource with the art in the background, and I have 2 boxes on which do not have borders. So let's see, I'm using one of these DSKs for the chat, and so I have a few free. So let's see, downstream keys. If I do key 1, mask, pre-multiply key. Wait, there's no borders in downstream keys, of course. I'm just totally blanking on borders today. I never use borders. There's no borders in downstream keys. There's only borders in upstream keys. So we're going to have to do it with an upstream key. So here's the Apple TV, and I can turn that on, and I can shrink it. Oh, that's interesting. Those are not connected. You can squish it. I think we were demoing de-squeezing the other day. So here is one. Actually, this is what I usually do when I'm like sharing my phone screen to the Apple TV, so it adds the phone border around it. That's more fun anyway. So this has the border. And I could like turn off I can recreate this computer and face layout with 2 upstream keys. But the problem with that is it's harder to switch away from that layout and back and forth. Because if I want to switch back to my full camera, I have to switch the program and remove both upstream keys at the same time, which you can't guarantee Companions can do that quickly, so you have to do it in a macro, and you may get 1 frame of a glitch anyway. And then to restore the layout, you have to change your upstream key settings to restore them to this border, and do that, turn them both on, and switch your program again all at the same time. So that's why I like the SuperSource so much, because it just kind of is like the layout is saved, and it's kind of saved as a video source, so I can just cut back and forth between it all the time. So also the four upstream keys, if you're using your upstream keys for doing the borders, then you can't use them for other things. Bailey has to head out, get some sleep. 5:38 in Australia. That's like when I wake up. Wow. I don't think I've stayed up till 5:30 in a very long time. Thanks for joining anyway. Catch you on the replay. Okay, trying to scroll back. Where were we? Oh, back on the back on the 4K issue. 4K live stream may not even be available for some viewers to download that at that quality. Am I right? Yeah, true. It's a good point. If you're streaming 4K and all your viewers are watching in 1080 because they're watching on a phone or they don't have the bandwidth to download 4K, that's also another factor. Adam, it looks like your chat graphics aren't glitching this week. Did you fix it? Yeah, okay. So weird thing last week, after Adam pointed out that my chat was glitching, I didn't see it on my screens here because it was not a problem with the ATEM. I looked back at the live stream and was looking back at the chat. I don't know if I can find an example of it really quick, but maybe it'll do it here. If you look closely, there was a thing, like a little glitch. Let's see if it does it again. It was happening every couple seconds. There it is. And I saw it again. You may not see it if you're looking at the scaled down screen capture of YouTube on my screen, but if you go back and actually look at last week's stream and find a chat message, you can see that sometimes the first line of text would have a glitch, just a weird artifact that went across the whole thing. You know what I did do is I did take screenshots for when I was chatting about it last week in John's Discord. And can I scroll back to last week and find them? We're going to find out. I did some troubleshooting and figured out what was causing it. Here it is. This is what we were seeing. So right there, all the little tails coming down off of the letters. I don't know if you can see it in this, unless I make it really big. There it is. And it always happened on that row. And what I did was I did a test stream to a private YouTube and recreated it, and I was able to recreate it. And then I did a stream this was from the web presenter. Then I did a stream from the ATEM Mini ISO with the same message and did not see the glitch. And then I did a stream from the Pearl Nano, Epiphan Pearl Nano, and I also did not see the glitch. And the way I was checking to see if it was YouTube introducing the glitch was I was streaming this to, not a private YouTube stream, I was streaming it to my Oncast instance. And Oncast, you can configure it into what they call pass-through mode. And in pass-through mode, the Oncast does not do any transcoding itself. So whatever the encoder sends is what gets delivered to the browser, which means it's not necessarily reliable for actually viewing, but it is a great way to test exactly this of where is the issue getting introduced. And it was not being introduced by YouTube, it was from the web presenter. So when I'm streaming from the web presenter, this line was having this encoding issue, compression glitch every couple of seconds, and when you're looking at video, it's barely noticeable. Like if you imagine it happened on my sweater up here, you would barely notice it because it's such a textured anyway. But as soon as you get these crisp lines, then the compression glitch is way more noticeable. And so today, I am streaming from the Pearl Nano. I'm feeding the output of my Constellation into the Pearl, and that is what's happened. That's how this is going up to YouTube now. So the stream, this is the interface for the Pearl Nano. This is what's doing the encoding, and this is apparently quite a bit better quality than the web presenter, unfortunately. Web presenter, again, the culprit. Yeah, super weird. So that's the deal. I'm not super happy about that, but I'm going to be streaming from this or the ATEM Mini ISO that's on the table over there too. The only downside with the Pearl Nano is that it's the loudest thing in my rack. It's not that loud, but it's like, you can see it down there. It's the one right there. It's the loudest thing. It's even louder than the Constellation 4ME, which is weird. Yeah, who would have thought the web presenter would do that? Exactly. Exactly. I'm pretty surprised about that. This is also a good time. I should quick interlude here before we get totally off track again, or on track, I guess. That's what the stream is about. It's about answering questions. Before we keep going, I want to mention this is the last stream of this month, which means the next stream will be the first stream of next month. Funny how dates work. Why is this relevant? Because I've decided to do a monthly giveaway for discount codes to my online stores. And the way to join, there's two. So the first stream of every month, there is 2 random drawings. And the random drawings are the top prize is among everybody who has sent in a super chat to my stream in the past 30 days before that. So everybody from this month who's been sending in super chats are automatically entered into that drawing. And the second drawing will be from everybody who has said something in the chat next week live. So we'll do 2 drawings towards the end of the stream, and those will be the 2 different pools to pull from. There's more information about the giveaways at this link, which I just dropped in the chat, and you can read about that there. But yeah, it'll be fun. So that'll be like, what are the 50% off any of the digital items on my stores is the grand prize, or $20 off any of the physical items from shop.rpk.tv, or the NX3D stores as well. And the second prize is 25% off any of the digital products off of my stores. So yeah, if you want $20 off of the any of the stands, that is a great option. Oh, speaking of, I completely forgot to go back to the where was it? Where was it? It was they mentioned this earlier. Aha, here we go. I had to show you what the Coverlees looked like first before I could mention this. But the flash sale. Okay, flash sale. PK1.tv. If you go to here and find the links to any of the products on the NX3D stores. Let's take the Pro Streamer. Let's go to the EU store. If you remember, we did the special run of color stands. Normally they're black and white, but we did a special run of color stands. And these are, teal's gone. There's only a few left. So the deal is all of the color options are half off right now during the live stream, which said it's ready to go, but now it's not showing me the discounted price. I'll see if I add to the cart if it shows up with a discount. It's supposed to be 50% off. They just had the flash sales ready to go. It's only going to be on for during this though. No, why is it not working? If it doesn't work this week, we'll do it again next week. But the deal is during the live stream, while live, the stands are half off. The colored version of the stands are half off. And there's only a few of them left. So that is your last chance to get the color versions. But if the discount's not showing up now, mention it in the chat to them on the website, or we'll do it again next week if there's still any left. And thank you, Randy, for the super chat. Appreciate it. And thank you very much. And oh, NX3D says give us a minute. Okay, they are working on it. We will have to give them a minute. And Tech Condo Also, thank you for the super chat. Not to enter for a prize, but because you rock and can use a coffee. Thank you. I could use a coffee. They're drinking my home coffee right now, but appreciate the super chat. Yes, get the Tech Condo Purple limited edition while you can. It looks really good. The purple one in particular. Where do I have the photos of all the different colors? I think it's on my Instagram. I've been really bad at Instagram lately. It's on the PK1 TV Instagram. There we go. So normally they are available only in the white and the black, and the YoloBox comes in the red, but we got these different options. That one's the Tech Condo Purple, which is really great. And yeah, only a couple left, so get it while you can. The link is, I will drop a link to the Tech Condo Purple here, which should show the discount shortly, imminently. And they may not have the purple one anymore. Check the other store, the AU store. So if you go to here and go to this one, they have some also. Oh, nope, none left there. Okay, discounts are live. No Tech Condo Purple left. Oh, okay, let's check out this one. There it is. The price is now half off. So this is your chance. You have about 40 minutes to grab the remaining color options, which looks like it's Tombuck Blue, Steel Blue of the Extreme, and very, very limited. Let's check out the ATEM Mini one. Steel Blue. Yeah, last items in stock. Ooh, this says there's Tech Condo Purple for the ATEM Mini. And no teal. That's my favorite one. That's why it's the PK1 teal. And a couple Tombuck Blues left also. So this is your last chance for those. And now let's get back to some questions. Truly limited supply. Yes, going. Okay. Oh, Eric, thank you for reminding everybody. Everybody both like and subscribe. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Let's scroll back to where I was in the chat before. If I can find that. Oh my God, there's so many questions. I think I have to skip over to the question column now completely. So again, if you do want to make sure I see your question, I can't look at the chat anymore because it's got too much going on. But make sure you start your message with the Q, and that'll make it so I can find your messages. This one was a little bit ago. How stable is the OLive with Instagram? The InStream seems to be fine. It's running the actual Instagram app, so yeah, I've never had it crash or anything. We're gonna do rapid fire questions. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, Keith's coming in with a super chat. I have to run. Thanks for the demo. Appreciate it. Yeah, the SuperSource stuff, border stuff is interesting that they just don't have it on some of the ATEMs. So you have to do it with pictures anyway. Honestly, I think it's fine because you get better customization with the pictures. I want to stream in 1080-60 via my ATEM Mini. I have 3 cameras connected, 2 at 1080-60, and 1 is 4K 24. Which camera should be in ATEM slot 1? Oh, so the special thing about ATEM slot 1 is a feature that I do not ever use, and I do not recommend anybody ever uses it. So I go over to my ATEM Mini. If you go to the settings and you go to general and the set video standard, if it's auto, then whatever is plugged into, now I can't even remember. It's either whatever's plugged into slot 1 or whatever is the first thing that's plugged in will set the video standard for the system. That's why I don't like it, because I don't like not knowing I don't like the indeterminate aspect of that. So I would always recommend choose your frame rate here for whatever you're doing. I do 2997. You might be doing 50 frames a second, whatever it is. Whatever you want your stream to be at, set it here. Don't use auto. And then whatever you plug in, it will convert the frame rates. So it is, of course, best to match your cameras to the frame rate that you're streaming at, but it will deal with mismatched frame rates. However, it will not scale your 4K. So you want to make sure that your 4K camera is outputting 1080, which some cameras can do and some cameras can't. So double check that. If you want to record your 4K 24 in that camera, make sure that camera is set to output 1080 over its HDMI port. So that's the tip there. Patrick says, help. And then the question. 4 action cameras, 4G encoder, SRT, RTMP with quad multi-view output, mobile setup. Ideas how to output a quad view. Oh, you want to like actually stream all 4 in a quad view. There are dedicated multi-viewer devices that can do that. So find one of those. There are some that are not very expensive. Like Blackmagic has some that are quite expensive, but you can find some cheaper ones. Let's see if I've got a link to one, because I have bought one before. I actually it was so long ago. I did a video a long time ago about building a multi-view for the ATEM Mini before the ATEM Mini Pro came out that had multi-view built in. But that's exactly what I would do for this. If you want to actually stream the multi-view. So this is how many wires it takes. It's a giant mess of wires. That's the multi-view box and HDMI splitters. You obviously don't need the splitters if you're just streaming the multi-view. Somewhere in here are the list of parts. Let's see, USB power. This is an old video. There we go. So I had to use splitters because I want the cameras to be on the multi-view and go into the ATEM, but you don't need that if you're just streaming the multi-view. But this box down here, this is basically 4 HDMI ins, 1 HDMI out with the 4-up layout. So you could put all your action cameras into that. It'll scale it down to 1080. I don't think this is a 4K device, but that's fine because you don't want to stream 4K over 4G anyway. And then it'll convert it into one single video with all 4 cameras. So that is the multi-view for ATEM Mini video, which should have a link to that particular multiviewer, which is here. And it looks like it's still for sale even. I bought it in January 2020. And yeah, 4 in, 1 out. And it does the multi-view layout for you. Clifford says, I think it's been said before when in auto, it's in what slot 1. Okay, yeah. About the encoder glitches, try reducing the contrast by using dark gray and darker white instead of pure black and white. Fun fact, that is actually dark gray. It's not pure black because for a while I had to, I was doing luma keying. So I would luma key out the black and I would want that dark gray to stay on there. But I don't think the contrast is going to solve it because it's more about the harsh lines because the glitch is still there. Like the glitch is there even on regular video. It's just that it's not as visible with regular video because of how irregular everything is in the video anyway. So yeah. Multiview comments. Easier multi-view running stream to YouTube via PC and use Elgato and ATEM Extreme with a second HDMI out to Elgato, and then you can switch to multi-view in the ATEM software. Well, I'm assuming if the question was about action cameras that you're not gonna, and a mobile setup with a battery, you're not gonna wanna lug around a PC and an ATEM Extreme with that kit. So that was why I recommended that little box, because that is pretty portable. You can power it with a battery. I think it's 12 volts, but you can you could do the USB to 12 volt conversion, and it's not very high wattage, and that would be a still reasonable size. Wouldn't the quad multiview be easier with a Mevo setup? Can the Mevo do 4 picture-in-pictures? I didn't think it could do all 4. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, that very well might be easier, but that means you are using Mevo cameras, which I'm assuming if you've got the action cameras, you may want more of an action camera, the features of an action camera, like better stabilization and stuff. So yeah. Does that web presenter glitch occur no matter where the chat is on the screen, at the top or middle? The glitch seems to be on a certain row of the video. So it's like this row of the video will glitch. So when there's text where like the bottom of the letter is like going into that row, then it does the weird stretch thing. But if the text was positioned differently, it would look different. The glitch would be different. And if there's no text, it still glitches. You just don't see it as much. Art Audio, in your opinion, would a 2 to 3 camera Mevo start package or YOLO with a couple of cameras be a good setup for newbie? Good question. The Mevo start package is very straightforward to use, and it's also nice that the cameras just have a built-in battery that lasts quite a long time, so it's really not a lot of fuss, and no wires is a huge benefit too. The YoloBox with a couple cameras is also it's easy to explain to somebody how to use it because it is pretty straightforward. The big difference here, I will say, which some people will care about, some people won't, is the fact that there are going to be a lot more wires involved. So 2 wires into each camera, power, because the camera battery is not going to last long enough probably, power and HDMI out to the YoloBox. And then on your cameras, you have to make sure that you get cameras with clean HDMI out, and that setting is set, and then there's a lot more settings, of course, for your camera that you're going to have to deal with. So setting the exposure, setting the frame rate, and making sure it's outputting the right resolution, all that kind of stuff, which totally depends on the camera. And that can start to get to a pretty big list to explain. So if I was, for example, actually, this is one of the reasons I was using camcorders for recording meetups for a while, because what I ended up doing was I was traveling so much that I was not able to record the meetup all the time. So I had I think it was actually with a Sling Studio kit with a couple of cameras, and had a whole printed sheet of like, here's the instructions for how to set up streaming and recording this event. And I would hand off the bag of gear to a volunteer, and they would run and set it up. And I got it down to a reasonably good list of steps. I had to make sure that my camcorders all the settings were already pre-configured properly. But the camcorders are nice because the power for them, like, you don't have to do anything fancy for it. They're meant to be powered off of AC, and they always have clean HDMI out. And that is easier than like a mirrorless or DSLR camera, because there's just more options in those, because they're also still cameras. So depends on what you mean by beginner. Is it a beginner that wants to start learning more about this stuff, or is it like a volunteer that is going to be recording an event that they just don't care? They just want the end result done. Because in that case, the Mevo cameras are like really good, self-contained. It's going to be pretty straightforward to get that working. Chris says Mevo Start 3-pack has more features at this point, and once the NDI update the software hits, it'll be no contest. It does depend on what you're doing, because there are a couple of features in the YoloBox the Mevos don't have, but it depends on your application here. Adam, are you talking to me? You must have some genlock issue somewhere. Key and fill might be out of sync. How are you outputting OBS to ATEM? does the glitch happen when you turn off the graphics? So this was my test. Don't know if you caught that. I was sitting here. I can do it again right now. I think we have time. Sitting right here. Let's see. Owncast is up. Should I do it? Why not? I think it's all right here. So we go to the web presenter. I think, yeah, because it should be all ready to go. Web presenter. I don't want to go to YouTube. I want to go to my test.nrpk.tv. I need the streaming key. Sorry, I can't show you this while I'm pulling up passwords. Okay, so I've got my web presenter ready to stream this, what you're seeing, this stream, to my Owncast instance. So let's go on air with that. And then we should see, yeah, here it is. And test.nrpk.tv, you can go here. Oh yeah, I should also make sure that in configuration, it's in pass-through mode. No, video. Pass-through is an option, yeah, okay, great. So let's make sure we're looking at it in pass-through mode. No sound, video, pass-through. So check that option. You can go look at this too, live. It's gonna be slightly behind the stream. So this is the output from the web presenter's encoder. Now we need to recreate that chat, that glitch. So I think if I go to this view and pull up a comment, let's pull up a comment, and now we have to wait for it to happen. So I want to reiterate again, I do not see the glitch in my Multiview. I'm looking at the Multiview and I'm looking at the web presenter up there, and I do not see any glitches happening. So if we look at Owncast, at some point, we might see that glitch. So let's see if it happens. I don't know how long it takes, or if it will happen again. Maybe it was a one, oh, I saw it. So let's see, can I put this on the screen? I think I can, yeah, because it's gonna be down in that line of text. So can you see it? Is it happening yet? Did it just blink again? It looks like it's in a different spot today. Is it happening on, oh, it's happening like here. You see it? There it is again. So the next time that we get into this next tunnel, that line should be in the, oh, there it is again. Okay. Yeah, it's like way higher up on the screen today. I can see it. I can see it on the screen. And it's not even on the line of text. It's just through the middle of the video. And like, that's absolutely not what I see on my screen here. And it's also not what's going up to YouTube anymore, because YouTube is getting the stream from the Pearl Nano. Yeah. So that's the deal. It has nothing to do with the graphics. It has nothing to do with the key fill. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's text on the screen. It's just a MPEG encoder, H.264 encoder glitch that happens to be really visible when the glitch happens on text. So, yeah. Oh well. Is the glitch a new phenomenon, or was it in all your previous streams? I feel like it was not in all my previous streams, because I don't remember anybody else complaining about it, and I've never seen it in that. So it's cropped up in the last, I don't know how long it's been happening, but it's not, I don't think it's been happening forever. And I've been using the web presenter for a long time too, which is weird. Okay, that was the Owncast glitch. I'm gonna leave that stream running, and if anybody is still looking at the stream on the test site, feel free to keep an eye out for the glitch again. Eric, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for switching to the noisy but visibly superior Epiphan Pearl Nano today. I think tracking that down probably took a bit of work. Actually, it wasn't too bad because, again, I knew that the problem was not in any of the hardware. That was the hardware chain of all the stuff flowing around here because I couldn't see it in the web presenter's multiview or previewer thing. So once I realized that, then it was like, is it YouTube or is it the encoder? So swapping out the different pieces and being able to use Owncast as a way to look at the raw stream, not transcode it again, was really useful for that. Frankie says, order placed, processed, and confirmed. Excellent. I wonder how many are left now. Richard says, are the rear supports available for the Gen 1 Mini stand? I think they still have some in the store. What I would do is I would go to the go to this store, the shop.nx3d.com, because if there are any, they would be here. Let's see, bundle, all the different bits and pieces. Yeah, here they are. Looks like they're still there. There should be a few of those left. Adam says, I think I misunderstood what you said. I thought you said the glitch still happened, but it's less visible now that you use the Pearl. No, sorry, no. It's absolutely not happening on the Pearl. It's just less visible when it happens all the time with the web presenter. It's just more visible when it happens over text. It could be a recent update. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I updated the web presenter. It looks like I'm on version 2.1.1. Let's see, when did that come out? I am going to write to Blackmagic about this, which I should have done last week, because it's bad and they should definitely fix it. Let's see. Support, streaming and encoding, web presenter. Oh, 3.2. I'm way out of date. Okay. Apparently I've never updated this. Well, that's interesting. Let's see what they say. Intermittent audio dropout. Ugh. Performance and stability. Okay. Tally light, DNS, AV sync, streaming platform, data indicators. Oh, that's good. I've had this problem before, where the screen freezes even though it's still encoding. So that's good. Didn't realize that was fixed in April. What have I been doing? My God, I have not looked for web presenter updates in a long time, apparently. Let's go install that right now. Download. And we'll see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then I'll write to Blackmagic. I should probably stop it streaming before I update the firmware. Okay, stop that. And let's do this. I wish I had a way to like do this faster so I can look at the chat. Oh, there we go. That was fast. Move to trash. Happy to see the changelog on the web presenter. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. So, Owncast is stopped. Let's open up web presenter. Is this the new version? 3.2. This should tell it to update. And let's see if that works. Yeah, it's rebooting. My web presenter is up there. The fans kick on when I do this too. And what else is happening in the chat? We want to see smoke. Do it live. Yeah. What version was I on? I think it said 2.1.1. I forgot already, but it's in this stream because I pulled it up on my screen a second ago. Pretty sure it was 2.1.1, which is from a while ago. So I don't know why I didn't update until now. Owncast for live stream troubleshooting, never would have thought of that. Yeah, totally. The the Owncast was like a Bach fugue with an Aaron Parecki rather than an organ. Now to get it playing backwards and overlaid. Yeah, the reason I thought of Owncast for that was specifically because of the pass-through mode, which is, again, they definitely don't recommend doing that for production streams just because it's entirely dependent on the viewer to be able to see the whatever codec is being used to stream, the viewer has to support. So that's why they don't recommend doing it. It will transcode it to a better format, but that's what I wanted for this because I wanted no other artifacts to get introduced. Okay, web presenter's back. Let's turn the stream back on again, and we're gonna have to just, oh, it didn't save the stream key. That's weird. On air. It's been updated, yes, save, go on air. There it goes. Oh, blinking. Why is it blinking? Did I enter the stream key wrong? Let's double check that I have the right stream key. General server setup, stream key. Yeah, that looks like the stream key. So what's going on? Let's go. Don't worry, it's only a partial stream key. Okay, now it's fine. So now we wait again. This should start up again in a second. Now we wait. Oh yeah, make sure you're looking at it in pass-through mode. It's a viewer setting, not a, it's not gonna default to that necessarily. And now we're looking at the raw stream from the web presenter. So let's take a look at some chats. I smell burnt toast. That's bad. Time for web presenter road test. Oh, we've only got a few minutes left in the stream. Hopefully we can get to this. Okay, I'm looking at it. I might need your help here. So I need more eyes on this to watch for the little glitchies. That way I can also keep the stream going because we're almost out of time. I'm gonna do that. Keep an eye on Owncast for me. Let me know if you see more little glitchies. And I'm gonna keep going through the chats, which I'm now officially way behind on again. Sorry, we only have a few minutes. So I'm gonna go rapid fire here. Thank you for the link on the ATEM Mini and YoloBox Mini. Which 1080 cam would you recommend since 4K isn't advised? Couple of my favorites would be Sony ZV-1 or 1F. That is pretty simple to use, relatively affordable. The Lumix G7 is discontinued, but the G100 is similar price point and similar feature set. Downside of the Lumix G7 at that price is it can't record internally while outputting over HDMI. So keep that in mind, but they're both pretty affordable for that. $500 to $600 usually you can find. And from there, anything is fine. Like anything up above that price point is gonna be totally fine. So it's really just how much you want to spend. But I've had great results from the Lumix G7s for a long time. Segals says, have you done anything with an ATEM Mini towards TikTok Studio? TikTok, no. I don't have access on my TikTok account because I have like one subscriber on TikTok. So I don't have access to the RTMP input on TikTok. I don't even think I'm allowed to stream even from the app itself or something. I don't remember. I haven't touched TikTok at all. Xteen says, I'll have to check where I got my 5-volt to ATEM cables. Ran full day productions in the back end of nowhere on that with only mobile reception. Oh, nice. That's very cool. Koala says, are there any new products or upgrades you're anticipating or waiting to see during NAB? I think there's going to be some more interesting stuff around the whole camera to cloud workflow that Atomos has been doing. They kind of announced it, but it was still like a lot of it was in development last year, so it wasn't all like out yet. So I'm hoping that that's going to be like really available this time. But Who knows if we're going to see anything new from Blackmagic? Nobody can predict at all. I'm not even going to try this time. Oh, I do have a list of 3 devices that I would love to see someone make, possibly YoloLive. And there's a video I'm working on right now. It's still in progress, but you should see that pop up on the channel in a couple of weeks about 3 interesting devices that would be like a mixture and subset of features of an ATEM Mini and a YoloBox together for just easier workflows. So keep an eye out for that. I don't want to spoil the whole video right now. Keep typing text for longer strings of characters. Make it 2 lines or longer. Yes. Any glitches on the comments yet? Don't see anybody commenting on either place. Videogram. Does taking one ATEM's output into a second ATEM input create latency problems or out of sync audio? No, not really. I think there's technically a frame delay when you do that, but it's going to be like a frame of at most, which is really not that bad, and certainly you're not gonna notice it. The audio will be in sync with whatever the video is sent to, so it may be 1 frame out of sync compared to other cameras, but if it'll be in sync with itself, if that makes sense. Jamie says, what options are there for video playback? HyperDeck's can be real fussy. Yeah, I agree. And we often get super last minute content. Definitely not good for the super last minute content. Are there any more flexible solutions handling video playback? Awesome stream. Thank you. Yes, I agree 100%. HyperDecks are good for very planned and scripted playback. So if you know exactly, like really good for lower thirds, for example, if you have fancy lower thirds with transparency, and they're, short bits here and there, and you can preload them all ahead of time. Great for that. If you have like someone's going to give you a file off of their phone super last minute to play on a stream, not good for that. 2 suggestions. 1, for real last minute stuff, just play it off of an iPhone and just plug in an iPhone in the camera roll and just play it off of that, because it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Obviously, that's not going to be, you can't automate that or script it or anything, but it does work, and it works surprisingly well. The iPhone will output like a 1080 feed when you connect it to an ATEM or whatever. But a slightly fancier version of that is the app called Live App, which is on my list of apps because I always forget the links, the links to these apps. So if you go to mpk.tv/apps, you can find a list of apps that I usually talk about, Live App being one of them, which is very tightly integrated with an ATEM Mini, and it can do a lot of this stuff automatically, like automatically start a video when you switch to the output that this iPad is connected to in your ATEM. Great for that. And this will handle anything that the iPhone can play or the iPad can play. This can play out over HDMI, so you can pretty quickly load up, throw something over to this iPad over AirDrop, pull it into here, set up the queue for it, and then ready to go. So it's a lot faster and more flexible than a HyperDeck for sure. No glitches so far. Test post with a lot of P's and J's to see if it triggers. Great. Oh, great point for camera recommendation. Also, Panasonic HC-V777 has clean HDMI out and good quality. I like camcorders over mirrorless cameras. Yeah, I think camcorders are really underrated for this, especially for when you have a whole bunch of them. Yeah. Cramp says you were doing something with Lily's ATEM earlier. Did you put it back? Good question. I think I was looking for SuperSource Borders, and I'm pretty sure I put it back. She hasn't told me otherwise, so yeah. This is also a good point. If you are playing off of a HyperDeck, you can use Apple Compressor to convert everything to ProRes 422, but of course that requires the time to do the conversion. And if they're throwing you like 5-minute clips or 20-minute clips or whatever, like that can get too much. So do check out Live App. Clifford says, evening, talking of live chat overlay. I notice on Lily's when the chat is over 2 lines, the 3rd line spills below and is chopped off. I noticed that. The it has to do with the font size, and the way that she's doing it is slightly different than mine. It's based on the same code, but it's not actually the same code. So the way she does it is opens up a browser for the YouTube chat, and then screen shares that tab into the Chromecast. And there is a setting in the browser extension that actually lets you change the font size, and that may just need some tweaking. So if we go to extension options, let's see. Oh, I've turned this off. 'Cause I'm not actually using this. I'm using a different version of it. Why is that not opening? Let's open up the tabs. There we go. There are options in here for scale and font. So we might need to review that to make it look right. It's kind of tricky. It's not an exact science. The application MIDI also does the same as Live App. Yeah, MIDI is for a Mac, not for an iPad. But I've liked using the MIDI app as well. Not free, but supports HyperDeck emulation. Oh yeah, that's a great point. So the ATEM has an option to like tell a HyperDeck to start playing when the ATEM switches to an input. So if I'm looking at this and I have a HyperDeck plugged into input 3, I can tell the ATEM that a HyperDeck is on input 3, and then when I switch to it, it will tell the HyperDeck to play, which definitely can work. But the way that Live App works, it's the other way around. Live App watches the ATEM, and when it sees that the ATEM has switched to input 3, Live App decides itself to start playing. So it gets the same effect in the end, but it's a neat little trick. So it's not HyperDeck emulation, but it does have the same effect. Only a couple minutes left. Okay. IT never gets old. Are you using any companion to control any of your Unify gear? I don't think I actually am. I don't think I am. No. Which do you prefer for camera control for live streaming, Blackmagic 4K or BGH1? I like the BGH1 better. And the reason is because the Blackmagic 4K only lets you control a very limited amount of settings in the camera from the ATEM. Exposure and color balance, which is cool. But the BGH1 lets you dig into the full menu system of the cameras, change every setting. So if I go and show you the BGH1 menu, I can go like, oh, pull up the menu. And it's literally like the menu on the back of the camera. So you really can control everything, which is, I prefer that. Been much happier with that. Okay, I'm gonna have to skip the rest of these and maybe catch you all on the next week's stream. Noel, you should chat with the folks at NX3D in the online store chat thingy. They will be able to tell you if you can get a pro streamer in red. We can probably make it happen, especially for you. Jamie, not a question, sorry. First time catching this live, asking some questions. Thanks for joining, always appreciated. And we're gonna have to wrap this up because Lily is about to start her stream. She has a story about a trip she went on this weekend to try to buy custom figure skates, and it looks like she is ready to go. So looks like I didn't mess up her ATEM. So we're gonna head over there. I'll drop this link in the chat, and I will also send this over when this ends. We should get redirected over there. And Graham, thank you for the super chat. Always appreciate it. Let's roll the credits. Thank you for joining every week. Thanks for asking all the questions. All of the people who have sent in super chats over the last 30 days are these fine folks who are now entered into next week's giveaway. And also next week, if you are joining live and chat say something in the chat at any point during the stream, you will also be entered to the giveaway. So thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining. See you again, same time, same place next week. And let's go have a great time. Have a great rest of the week. See you all later. Bye.